Testing. 1, 2, 3. Let me turn my volume up. Hello. Hello. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, type something. Can you hear me? What's up, Burp Potato? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. All right, well, obviously there's been a ton of shit going on with the election, and I did a video on it, but I didn't want to do like a 45-minute video on everything that I thought about it. So I figured, you know what? I'll just go ahead and do live stream. Hopefully y'all can hear me and see me just fine. And I figure, you know what, everybody just air their grievances or what you have to say, whatever the case may be, and we'll just go from there. I guess starting off, my biggest problem with the whole thing was just the fucking counting. The counting was just horrible. Like, there's no rhyme or reason why it should take that long to count votes. I mean, you have people. Tori, hello, how are you doing? To me, it was just mind blowing. Like, Florida could count 100. It was like almost over 11 million votes in one night, and it took Nevada 3 or 4 days to count 2 million, maybe. That was just fucking ridiculous. Like, there is no way it should ever take that long. I live in Virginia, sorry. But there's no possible way it should take that long to actually count the votes. I you know what? I don't want to be the conspiracy theorist because I really don't, but I guess we're just going to fucking jump into it right away. So let's just go with it. It makes no earthly sense how, like, some of these states just randomly, found 200,000 votes or 120,000 votes or 130,000 votes. It was fucking ridiculous. Like, there is no way possible they can find as many votes. And I understand that some people are saying there's a system error, or it was a calculation error, or it just I don't know. It's just like it just makes no sense to me how in the world we have these type of errors. And my biggest thing is the errors always go on one side. Like, there's never an error where they found 50,000 votes for Trump and just updated it right away. There's never an error where Trump having I'm not saying that Trump is going to win. It seems like it's over. I know some of you guys are like, no, fuck that, it's not over yet, because he's going to fight, he's going to go to court, and we'll see how the court plays out. But just that little problem alone, just that little tiny thing alone, just makes it seem like, and fuck it, they can ban me. It won't be the first time I got in trouble with YouTube, so I could care less. And I know, like, Twitter has been taking down people's posts about this shit. Facebook has been taking down people's posts about this. And it's really weird how, when it comes to certain groups, they need all the evidence in the world. When it comes to other groups, they need no evidence at all. Like, I'm sure we've all been and seen all the stories where it comes to Trump, where, a guy heard a guy, heard his guy's cousin, say some shit about Trump. Trump said, fuck all black people. And then all of a sudden, that's factual, that's news. We're going to run it. We're going to post it everywhere. We're going to put it on every single outlet. But if there's anything to do with the other way, it's like they need beyond proof. They need beyond evidence. They need so much shit in order to actually put it out there. And even when they have beyond proof and beyond evidence, they still don't put the shit out there. Like, I'm sure some of you guys have been paying attention to the whole Biden, son laptop shit. Apparently the FBI has had an investigation on him, Biden's son, and his company since 2019. They've had the laptop since 2019, talking about all this other shit that's been going on with Biden's son. Not saying it's factual, not saying that they have a case, but if you could imagine just for 2 seconds what would happen if that was Trump. Like, if that was Trump and that was, you know, I guess like Trump's son, and they found out he took, 50 cents to buy a soda in China, that shit would be front page news, for weeks. That shit would have been plastered everywhere. That, oh my gosh, what in the world is going on? He bought a soda, and what did he have to pay back for that soda? Sodas in the U.S. cost $1. He only got 50 cents. What did he do? And it'll just been nonstop shit. So I don't know. It's, to me, it's weird. It's just like I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So sorry. I don't. We can rambling. Um. Thank you, Blake, or Balake. Depending on how they say it. I don't know. To me, it's just what. Sorry. Hold on 1 second. What? Live stream. Yes. Eye shoes. All right. These are my babies. This is what keeps me up all day and all night. This is why I can't do all my videos that I want to do. Um, this is the littlest one, and she's out. Okay, so um, yeah, I got 5 kids. Three live with me, so it's crazy. It is, yeah. So that's what I to all y'all. I apologize as far as not being able to do the videos like I want to, and not to be able to do the videos like I used to kick them out as much as I possibly could. But I got a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 10-year-old in the house, and believe me, they keep me extremely busy. And yeah, I may have had sex before, even though I'm questioning some of these kids because it's just ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Um, all right, so I'm sorry. Back to the election. I don't know. The county kind of pissed me off. The way they reported a lot of this shit kind of pissed me off. The way they refuse to report things kind of pissed me off. It's just, I don't know. It just seems odd that a lot of this stuff, that's just the way the whole thing went down. Obviously, the mail-in votes. Again, not saying it's fraud, not saying anybody did anything illegal. It just seems odd that like Trump gets 70 million votes and he gets blown out. Like, if you put it in perspective, Obama only got like 69 million. Like, so Trump actually got more votes than Obama, and Trump gets literally blown out the water in some of these states, or the states that he really needed to win. So again, not saying it's fraud. It just seems really, really odd. Like, the whole thing seems odd. I'm sure they're going to take it to court. I'm sure they're going to have different things of, well, these people wasn't allowed to view this, and we want these votes counted and these votes not counted. And it's going to be like there's going to be an argument and a counter argument. And a lot of times, I think Trump is going to contradict himself because he wants every vote counted in Arizona, but then he doesn't want every vote counted in like Pennsylvania. I do find it odd that like in some districts, it's like especially like Pennsylvania, like some districts in Pennsylvania and some counties, like there's not one single Trump vote in there. Now, I'm not saying that there are Trump supporters there, and I'm not saying that it isn't impossible, but the likelihood of, all right, see you later. But the likelihood of just like literally an entire county voting one way, I don't know, it just seems odd to me. Again, not saying there was any foul play, it just seems odd. And I know Trump voters did a lot of showing up. A lot of the mail-in votes were by Democrats. So, and that, again, that all makes sense. And that's why, like, when it first started, a lot of the counties, or a lot of the districts, a lot of the states, they immediately jumped out to like, Trump had, Biden having a huge lead, especially like in Florida. When Florida first started counting, like, Biden was way out ahead, and then all the mail-in votes, all the in-person votes started coming in, and then Trump caught back up, and took the lead. So that's fine. Again, I understand that. It's just like I say, some of this shit was just a little bit odd. The two states that just really threw me for a loop was Wisconsin and Michigan. And again, I understand one was a computer error or a computer glitch or whatever the case may be, but it just seems odd to me. Like, Trump is up 130,000 votes, and then in a clink of an eye, Trump is up 10,000 votes or whatever it was, like 3,000 votes, and that just seems odd. Again, I'm not saying that anything bad happened. I'm just saying that if it goes to church, if it goes to court, if they have any kind of judge on that bench that will look at it and just give them the benefit of the doubt, then this is going to be a long ass drawn out process. And I do believe you. I think that's the biggest. Like that's another thing that they refuse to talk about, which really pissed me off. And I was actually watching Bill Maher last night because I try to watch Bill Maher every now and then just to get the perspective from them because I can't do CNN anymore because CNN is just fucking horrible. So I do try to watch Bill Maher every now and then. And last night they were talking about all the Trump supporters who are going to be out there and they're going to be rioting and they're going to they're deadly and look at all these deadly militias and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, have none of you heard or even spoke about Antifa? Um, you can see my house. What the hell? But have you never heard of Antifa? Have you never heard of all the crazy shit that's been going on in Portland and Philadelphia and DC? Like, how does nobody talk about this shit? Like, you're worried about Trump supporters. From last I checked, the last year, I'm sorry, last 3 or 4 years, wasn't Trump supporters out there burning shit down or looting or doing all this other crazy shit. It definitely wasn't Trump supporters out there like in Atlanta where they shot an 8-year-old girl because they deemed their city cut off. And if you tried to come in there, I guess they gave themselves the right to, shoot people. And damn sure wasn't Trump supporters out there reaming about and screaming about, defunding the police and, all these videos of people going to restaurants and making people leave and sitting at their table and taking that wasn't them. Like, so now all of a sudden, because it's, Biden has won or allegedly won or whatever the case may be, the media has called it for Biden. Now we're worried about rioting. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, fuck you for real. Like, now we're worried about, unrest in the streets. Like, what the fuck has Portland been for the last 10 years? I mean, like, seriously, do they not remember? And please don't blame it on Trump because this shit was happening during Obama, where fucking riots in Baltimore and Ferguson County and all this other crazy shit that's been going on. So, again, and I'm not trying to say that all Democrats are evil or anything like that. So please don't take it as that. But again, it wasn't Trump supporters doing this crazy shit. It just wasn't. So now they're worried about, Trump supporters and they're trying to get, in my opinion, they're trying to get the other side riled up to fight the evil Trump supporters and to go after the evil Trump supporters. And they're scared that Trump supporters are going to, go and start blocking streets and be armed and all this other crazy shit. What again, last I checked, the last 10 years or 5 years, or especially during the last 4 years, it damn sure wasn't Trump supporters shutting down Seattle and making it their zone and they wouldn't allow cars in. It damn sure wasn't Trump supporters, shutting down highways for their little, impromptu protests. So I don't know. It's weird. So I do think they're trying to get the base riled up. And I've said this shit for years. This isn't about Trump and the establishment. This isn't about to me, it isn't about any of that. It's about they have to keep the population fighting, period. Because as long as they're fighting amongst themselves, they can't look at the shit that they're doing. All right. So, and that's always been my opinion. That's why I've always hated Republicans and Democrats, because they always pit each other against each other. So their shit goes on, their shit goes unnoticed. So, like, I mean, let's be real. There's certain things that happen. Like recently, last couple of years, apparently Congress has a trust. They have like a private fund to pay off sexual harassment charges or sexual harassment allegations that are made against Congress people. Why the fuck doesn't nobody talk about this? So during the whole Me Too era, when they were trying to destroy, Trump, they were trying to destroy Brett Kavanaugh, which I thought was the biggest piece of shit thing to do in the world. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? It was all about Me Too. But when it comes to these senators, and I'm sure there are Republicans and Democrats in this fucking fund who paid out of this fund, when it comes to senators, no one says anything. Like, we just, just keep moving along because they got one clan over here fighting over another clan over abortion, or they got one clan over here fighting over another clan for gun rights. And let's be real. I think the main reason that they really solely hate Trump and want to get rid of Trump, just in my opinion, is that Trump went in there and he's not a politician, which they hate. Because to me, in their world, they want the issues alive because that's what they run on. Trump went in there to be like, okay, we're just going to do shit. Like, we need to get shit done. Fuck all this posturing and, trying to get votes over here and trying to get votes over here. We're just going to get shit done. So take, for instance, how many presidents, and I don't know how everyone's age, but how many presidents literally have been alive who's running for office who said, we are going to move Um, we're gonna move. We're gonna move. Our embassy into Jerusalem to honor Israel. And every president, everyone ever running for president, always said this same shit. Um, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was reading the comment. Yeah, I do want anarchy because again, the only way that shit changes is anarchy. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, everybody wants the status quo, which again I find so fucking hilarious because in a world where so many people think there is systematic racism, everyone is wanting to vote to preserve the system that apparently is racist. And far as my understanding, Biden has been in this systematically racist system for 47 years. Everyone has voted to keep or to put him, not everyone, but people voted to put the man who literally has been in the systematic racist system in charge of the systematic racist system or whatever. And it just doesn't make sense. So, okay. I'm sorry. Back to my original point. I lost my fucking point. Um, but let's just keep going. Okay. So I don't know. To me, it's just they they want to keep the issues alive. They want to keep the issues between between the two feuds. So like gun rights, like abortion rights, like all this like gay marriage and all this other shit. They got to keep this shit feud because they got to keep one side pitted against the other. So while we're fighting each other, they're doing whatever the fuck they want to do. Republicans and Democrats are no fucking difference. All right, they are. There's none. Okay, and the two case points you can point to is in the last, just say, 12 years. When Obama got into office, he had the House, the Senate, and the presidency. The Democrats had everything. They literally passed not one single gun law, not one. And people can say whatever they want to. They passed Obamacare with not a single Republican vote in the House or the Senate. Obamacare went past, which means at that time they're going to pass any fucking law they want. If they want to take abortion off the fucking table, here's an idea: pass a law to make abortion legal. Done. If they pass a law to make abortion legal, it doesn't matter who they put in the Supreme Court. It doesn't matter who nominates who. They want to keep the Roe versus Wade issue alive because that can keep the fighting going. So whenever some shit pops off and the Republicans about to win, they can say, as they always fucking do, they're going to take away your abortion rights. They're going to make it so that you can't get an abortion. All they had to do was pass a law to say abortion is legal up until whatever amount of term. That's all they had to do. Case closed, done. It would have been the law of the land. It would have been passed federally, so they can't, convict anybody. It would have been done, but they don't want that. They have to keep the issue alive. And again, Trump is not like that. Trump is like, fuck all this shit. Let's just get the shit done. Again, Trump came into office. He was like, okay, move the fucking embassy to Jerusalem for Israel. We're done. And everybody gave him shit for like, why would you do that? Because again, he was about solving shit. He wasn't about playing the whole fucking back and forth game. He was about going in there and actually getting shit done. He was about going in and actually solving shit. And they don't want that shit. Again, I mean, I can't. Republicans the same way. When all we heard for 8 years when Obama's in office, after Obamacare got passed, we need to repeal Obamacare. We're going to repeal Obamacare. Every fucking Senate race, every House race, everyone kept saying, we're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to repeal Obamacare. We're going to repeal Obamacare. So when Trump was running, he got elected. He came in office. He's like, okay, fuck it. Let's repeal Obamacare. The first thing they did was, well, we can't. The fuck you mean you can't? Like, majority of the people got elected solely on the focus of repealing Obamacare. And as soon as he got into office, as soon as he got the opportunity to do it, they're like, no, we can't. Because why? They need that issue alive. Because the next 4 years or the next 2 years, when there are more Senate races, they can run on the same issue. We need to repeal Obamacare. We need to get rid of Obamacare. It's just like, and that's why I think they really hate and despise Trump, because Trump wasn't about that. He wasn't about keeping issues alive. He was about getting shit resolved. And they don't want that shit. Like, both sides. I don't even fuck who you are, Republican, Democrat. They don't want that shit. They don't want issues resolved. Because what do they run on? Okay, if we resolve abortion rights, we resolve gun rights, we resolve the health care, what the fuck else is there? We get some kind of tax code that everyone can agree on. What the fuck would they do? Like, what would be the next argument? We already have gay rights passed. Multiple states are doing the whole legal marijuana and certain things like that. So the drug issue is not really a big thing. Trump actually just did prison reform, so that's not even an issue anymore. So again, what would they run on? Like, what the fuck would they run on? The only thing that would be literally to argue is, climate change and how to deal with climate change, and that shit goes nowhere because either you believe or you don't. Um, and I think that's the like they don't want shit done. They don't want shit resolved. They want shit to keep festering and to keep going. And they build this anger and hatred and resentment towards each other because you got some fucking guy in Texas can't stand some fucking guy. Um, they can't stand some fucking guy in New York because he thinks the guy in New York wants to take away his gun rights, and the guy in New York is like, "Fuck you! You want to take away a woman's abortion rights?" And neither one of them, like literally, neither one of them want any. Like they don't give a fuck. Like wherever you're doing in New York, you do in New York. I'll do my shit in Texas. Just leave me the fuck alone. And honestly, through this church, I have found it because I have Republicans, Democrats, Christians, atheists. I have all different wide variety of people in this church, and the one commonality that I found among all of us is you do your thing, I do my thing, we're good. And if that message was ever displayed politically, it would be the end of all of our politics because. But again, majority of the people don't give it. Like, I don't give a fuck what somebody is doing in like Nevada right now. I really don't. Okay, and that's my thing. Behind the scenes, okay. So there was this. I'm gonna say this. There was this show that I was watching about politics, and what they found was you can look at a politician's donations to decide to see where they're going to vote. So you even have Democrats who takes money from the NRA. I know people don't want to talk about this because this is taboo or, that's not true. It's all Republicans. Bullshit. Democrats take money from the NRA and Democrats actually vote to preserve gun laws. It's not a fucking question. It's a fact. There are Republicans who take money from certain places, climate change or whatever the case may be. And yes, they actually get it. I think the whole scheme behind it, the whole thing is they have their concentrated power. They don't give a fuck about anything else. And what they do is they want to keep their concentrated power. So it's like, I want to say it's like a hierarchy because, and I'll go back to Obamacare. When they was trying to pass Obamacare, the biggest thing is this is going to be healthcare it's going to be amazing healthcare for all Americans. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. Every American is going to save all this money. It's just going to be fantastic healthcare. You're going to get to be able to see whatever doctor you want. It's going to be great. And then Obama came out. I was like, okay, well, Congress, you're going to have the same healthcare that they do. And the Congress was immediately was like, fuck that. We don't want that shit. No, we can't afford this. No, hell no. We don't want that. We want to keep our government benefits that we already have. So to me, it's like if you actually started looking at what the fuck they're doing, looking at what's going on, looking at government officials getting, locked up for corruption or locked up for theft or all this kind of shit, they don't want you focused on that. So what they do is they keep you and me and everyone else fighting amongst each other. I don't know. People act like, I can't say Trump was an anomaly because every Republican who has ever run for Congress or ever done anything is always racist. Any Republican ever ran for president is always racist. They're always backed by the Ku Klux Klan. They always, wanted white supremacy from John McCain to Mitt Romney to George Bush, all the way down the fucking line. Reagan was the biggest white supremacist ever. They're out of touch with the working class. They're just rich. They don't literally. It's all bullshit. Like they want to keep people focused on shit so they don't look at them. And that's just, to me, that's the whole game plan. If I keep you mad at some guy that has never met you, that doesn't give a fuck about your life or what you do, but you're literally at home stewing and pissed about him, you won't have time to look at me. And what happened during the Obama years, in my opinion, was that everybody started looking at the government like, dude, what the fuck are y'all doing? Because they wasn't doing anything. Republicans wasn't doing anything in the House. Obama wasn't really doing anything in the presidency. He was trying to get shit passed. They were trying to get shit passed. They were sitting there blocking each other. The whole fucking thing was a fucking mess. And everyone was like, you know what? You guys fucking suck because you aren't doing anything. So that's what, and maybe fuck you. But that's what produced or laid the groundwork for fucking Trump. Because they were like, this government shit doesn't work. So as soon as Trump got in the office, the media and Republicans and Democrats was like, no, fuck this. We don't want this guy because he's not a part of us. He's not a part of our clique. He's not going to get it. he's going to bring attention to us. And we don't want that attention. We want you to acknowledge us every 2 to 4 years when we need your votes. And after that, you go about your business. Um, you go about your business and I'll go about mine and we'll be good. That's that's the real thing. Like, and again, as a black person, and I'm not trying to turn it into a racial issue, but as a black person, Democrats have always pissed me off because the only time they fucking care about any of us, any black person ever, is when it's time to vote. Like when Black Lives Matter shit, that shit drove me crazy, and I'm sure y'all have seen my videos on that, or I hope you have. When that Black Lives Matter shit hit, it drove me fucking crazy because we ignored thousands and thousands of deaths that happen to black people every fucking year. Politicians don't say shit about black people killing black people, and it's by the fucking thousands. Black people shooting black people, and it's by the tens of thousands. We don't care about that shit. But that one white cop shoot or push or punch or choke a black person, then it's fucking anarchy. And and I think that's the biggest issue. And it's like, as long as we're focused on, again, just stupid shit, because that one white cop or that one black cop killing that black person, it divides it completely. It causes an immediate division. And I think that's what they want, because you're going to have some people say, like, there was a recent, I guess, shooting. I think it was in either Philadelphia or DC, or it might have been both, where a guy was coming at a cop with a fucking knife. And the guy was like, okay, the cops are like, you need to back up, you need to back up, you need to back up. And the guy kept coming at him. So the cop finally shot him. And they're like, another black cop, shoots another black man is murdered by a cop. And it's like, okay, well, what the fuck do you expect this cop to do? You're coming at me with the fucking knife. I promise you, if you're coming at me with a knife, I had a gun, you're fucking dead. And I also find it funny, like the whole Kenosha thing, where these guys are chasing after this little white boy and they're trying to, attack him. They're trying to attack him, and like one of them chased him and he shot him, and then two other guys chased him and he shot them too. And the first thing they say is this murderer went out there, this obviously rampant Trump supporter. I think the boy was like 17, can't even fucking vote. So whatever. But the 17-year-old went out there and just murdered innocent, peaceful protesters in the street, conveniently leaving out that one of them smacked him with a fucking skateboard, conveniently leaving out that one of the boys chased him like behind a car or something. But I think that the biggest thing is, what did the fuck ever happen to common sense? If you have a gun, I'm not fucking attacking you. That's the point of a fucking gun. I mean, if I'm coming at you and you have a gun, you shoot me, I can't get mad at you. That's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. But again, it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative to say, okay, stupid, guy has a gun, you're trying to attack him, he shoots you. You're fucking dumb. No, we have to paint it as this, these poor innocent protesters is out there freely, exercising their First Amendment right, leaving out the fact that they're looting and burning shit down. We'll at least leave that part out. And this guy comes out there and just guns them down, like he was just on a fucking rampage, like it was Young Guns, and Billy the Kid just went out there and just started smoking people. It's bullshit. But again, that's the fucking narrative. And once I started seeing that shit from the media with every fucking thing, and that shit started with me not because of Trump, but because of the whole Trayvon Martin shit. Thank you. I'm glad you're with the church. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read this shit and talk at the same time, so I apologize if I'm missing comments. So I apologize, but I seriously thank all you guys for following me and talking to me and listening to me. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. And this is honestly my therapy session to get shit off my chest, and I hope it's your chance to get shit off your chest as well. But and I think that's where to me, that's where it all boils down to, as far as like, it's just the narrative. And this election came down to the fucking narrative. There are so many people who absolutely hated Trump, fucking hated Trump for shit that he never did. There's shit that people couldn't stand Trump for because he's a racist and he's a bigot and he's a homophobic and all these fucking isms that they just threw at Trump because the media just kept pounding it over and over and over again. And it's not, to me, if he lost, and I'm not saying he lost, but if he lost, I understand it, because this fucking guy went against everyone. And I don't think people truly understand this shit. This guy went against everyone. He had to go against the Democrats, obviously. He had to go against the fucking Republicans, obviously. He had to go against damn near every media outlet on the face of this fucking earth. Like seriously, we had to go. He had to go against every media outlet ever. Like the most random shit would be top page news for weeks, and I'm sure, like, I don't know if you guys heard of this, but Trump made AIDS medication free. It's a certain pill that came out that helps to prevent people from transmitting AIDS, and they take this pill. Trump made it free in his fight to go against to stop AIDS from spreading. Obviously, if you stop AIDS from spreading, hopefully you can die it off until there's an actual cure found or whatever the case may be, which I'm sure there already is, whatever. But he made it free. So that actually benefits black people because apparently we're extremely prone to getting AIDS, and homosexuals. But to the media, he's a racist and a bigot. Now, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't even understand. Like how does that shit work? He made it so that he pushed it so that women and minorities can get business loans, so they can open up their own shit, so they can stop working for um the man, and they can become the goddamn man. So he pushed that shit, and he made it so that the government will give out more business loans to minorities, give out more business loans to um, females. But again, he's a sexist and he's a racist. I and again, he's fighting against this fucking narrative for literally since he came down the escalator and announced that he was going to run for president. I mean, they still to this day, he's never denied that. He what do they always say? He's never denied white supremacy, and he's never denied um he's never denied anything. He's never denied this. He's never denied that. He's always been pushing white supremacy, and it's like it's just bullshit because he's done it so many fucking times. Like he does it ad nauseum, and it's stupid. And they still ask him the question. They still was asking the question during the fucking debate after they asked it in the last fucking the last time he went against Hillary, and before that, it's like it's just he was fighting against everything. So I think he did as best. I think he did as best as he fucking could. I really fucking do. Against all odds, against again being impeached, all this other crazy shit that was going on, the whole Russia fucking collusion thing that took 2.5 years and I think $30 fucking million just for them to come back and say, oh, there's no evidence. Like literally, no one will fucking work with him at all. Um, and it's just to me, it's just like I don't know. I can't get mad at him for trying whatever the fuck he tried. And me and Mr. Fuck You, I guess we have a difference of opinion on what he did. That's fine. Um, what's up, Sheep? I don't know. I think he did whatever he possibly could to push whatever fucking agenda he could. He did the opportunity zones to try to, bring more opportunities into black neighborhoods, whatever the case may be. According to multiple sources, his support from African Americans went up to like, I think African American males was like 18%. Total support was like 12%, which he actually doubled from last time. And okay, no one's the boss of me. Actually, no one's the boss of anyone. But that's besides the point. We'll just keep going. He improved his standing with the Latino vote. So, and again, he got 70 fucking million votes. I don't know how else to say. Like, he had 70 million votes. Again, he had more votes than Obama. So I don't think he did that bad at all. The flip side is this whole fucking mail-in thing, where they're going to go with it. If they go to court for it, there's been videos and all kinds of shit released of, people saying that they're, they're postmarking back date. So if it comes in on the 4th or the 5th or the 6th, they're posting it to election day, which I think was the 3rd. And that's something that they can easily do with a fucking stamp. Just stamp it the 3rd, regardless of when it comes in. So that will call into question. I know some people say, well, it doesn't matter when it comes in. Every vote should count. But again, if they've been pushing mail-in fucking voting since I think it was like June or July. All right. If you literally could not get your fucking ballot in the post office by the 3rd, you had to get it in by the 4th for them to fucking stamp it, then you're just SOL. I'm sorry. To me, you're just too stupid to vote. All right. You literally, and I think some states mailed out ballots like in the middle of the summer. So you had easily 3 months to check off whatever the fuck you want to check off, put in an envelope and mail it back in. If you couldn't do it in 3 months, then I'm sorry. You just didn't want to fucking vote. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't know. I can't see us keep allowing or making excuses for stupid people. And to me, if they're that stupid that they can't put a fucking piece of paper in an envelope and mail it, then you don't deserve the vote. I'm sorry. Um, but that's just, I don't know. That's just some of the shit that I really want to get off my chest. I did post a video a little bit earlier, and I see a lot of you guys are replying to it. Again, I don't know how the court shit is going to work out. On one part of me, I'm hoping it's not a long, drawn out process because this shit's going to take forever if it gets all the way up to the Supreme Court. But then again, I do want him to fight. If he feels like there was something wrong, something bad, and there's just a lot of questionable shit that happened. Again, I'm not saying that there was any, corruption. I'm just saying that there was some questionable shit that happens. Again, in the middle of the night between 3, 4 in the morning, Wisconsin updates their, record numbers, and it's 133,000 votes for Biden. And they said it was a system error. They said it was a glitch. They just recognized it and they just updated it. But again, these glitches, and this is not the first time this shit has happened in any kind of race where they magically find or produce a certain amount of votes to push a Democrat over the edge. But I always find it funny, like this just never happens for Republicans. Like I can never recall, and I promise you, Democrats would accept a system glitch in Wisconsin. They would definitely accept a system glitch in Michigan. But I promise you, if there was a system glitch in Georgia right now, and all of a sudden, if it was a system glitch in Georgia and magically Trump got 100,000 votes today, get the fuck out of here. Like seriously, get the fuck out of here. Like they would lose their shit. And I think that's where the problem would be. That's where, like, I don't know. To me, it just seems like there's two set of standards for both sides, especially when it comes to the media. Republicans have to have literally the person admitting that they did something, and they still will question it, like, well, we don't know. But all they need from a Democrat to accuse a Republican of something is an assumption, or I heard, or an anonymous quote, or whatever the case may be, and that shit is super factual. So that shit bothers the fuck out of me. Other than that, I don't know. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to get off your chest besides Mr. Fuck You? Because I think you got everything off your chest by now. I don't know what the hell. You're on some good shit right now. To me, I honestly, and I know this may come off as like cold-hearted, but I really, really would not be super mad if Biden won, and I hope he wins. And if he wins, I hope he gets Atlanta and get the seats for Atlanta. I hope he gets all that. I hope he gets the Senate, the House, and the presidency. I really do. I hope they get all that shit. So either one or two things are going to happen. One is going to be like the first time they had that shit with Obama. I don't know about the watermark, so that would be an interesting thing. I hope they get that shit. Either they're going to do nothing. They're going to do absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Or on the flip side, they're going to do everything they wanted to do, and I would just love to see how the world reacts to it. I mean, I would love to see how the world reacts to literally them saying, okay, fine, we're going to cut off all subsidies for gasoline, and gas immediately goes from, say, $3 a gallon to $6 a gallon because there's no subsidies and you're paying a difference. I would love to see how, if they cut off, subsidies to the natural gas places where your electric bill goes from $75 a month to $200 a month. How the fuck would they do? Like, seriously. Like, what would people do? And again, me personally, and I'm saying this for absolutely selfish reasons, I just want to do it so I can just be like, yes, go Biden. Because you don't understand how my fucking Facebook page has looked for the last 4 years. Literally everything has been posted is all negative Trump shit. I don't give a fuck what he did. And again, it's so funny that like people were saying like Trump could cure cancer, and like the headline would be, Trump puts doctors out of work, add to the unemployment crisis or some shit like that. Like literally there's nothing he could do that was right. So I just want my turn. And selfishly, I really want my fucking turn. So every time, Rain Man gets up there, and that's what I call Joe Biden, because the dude is fucking gone. Like he's absolutely fucking gone. Every time fucking Rain Man gets up there and he says some stupid shit, I am posting that shit like it's like nobody's business. Every time he gets up there and forgets what fucking state he's in or who the fuck he's talking to. And I will gladly be president, even though they probably kill me in a matter of 20 minutes. Sorry, I'm going back to the thing. Okay, Supreme Court trial, it'll be bad. And the only reason I say it'll be bad is because, oh yeah, he did call all black people poor. The Supreme Court better be bad because, one, if they rule in Trump's favor, it's fucking anarchy. Again, my personal opinion, I like anarchy, but not this kind of anarchy. It's going to be fucking riots. It's literally going to be the war. And what's up, Skylar? It will be a full blown war if they flip it and make President Trump the next president. Like literally, the earth will fucking stop. Like it would be chaos because they would feel like he appointed these judges. These judges rule with him. This is why he put these judges on the court so he can steal the election, regardless of what they do. And like seriously, like my thing is like you can go into one state, and this is all Trump needs to do. And I'm just right out the roadmap for you how this can work. You can go in one state, let's say Wisconsin, and if you find any kind of irregularity or if they do a recount and he wins for whatever reason, my thing, like if they pull out mail ballots and say, oh shit, we have 1,000 mail ballots of voting for Biden and they're all blank. How the fuck did they vote for Biden? Or we have 1,000 mail ballots, or we have 5,000 mail ballots and all of these people died, or half of these people moved out of the state. We need to recount everything. And he wins Wisconsin, then everything's back in play. Michigan is back in play, even though the percentage is a whole lot higher. I think he can get Michigan back in play. Pennsylvania will be back in play. Georgia would definitely be back in play. Everything's back in play. He just needs one state to show a fuck up. That's all he needs. And once he gets that fuck up, he's like literally, obviously, all of us will go batshit crazy. Like seriously, we would go batshit crazy. We would, oh man, because we'll be like, okay, we told you you fuckers were cheating or whatever. So, if he gets that one state, he's in there. And then he can push every other state to the Supreme Court to say, we need to recount based on what we observed or what changes one state. If he can get, say, Wisconsin, I think Wisconsin was, the last time I checked, was like maybe 20,000 vote difference. Either it's like 10 or 20,000 vote difference. But if he can get that, if he flips it for whatever reason, and understand, if it's a 20,000 vote difference, all the thing he needs to do is change 10,001 vote from Biden to him, and he wins the state by one fucking vote. Out of all those votes, if he can find 10,000 and he can flip for whatever reason from 10,001 from Joe to him, he wins Wisconsin, then all fucking hell breaks loose. And I'm just being honest. All fucking hell breaks loose. This shit will not end until probably COVID will be over before this shit ends. I'm just being flat out honest. Because if he gets that one state, then he can push Pennsylvania, Georgia. I don't know what's going on in North Carolina. Last time I checked, they haven't moved in 2 days. I don't know what the fuck they're doing. But he can definitely take, if he loses out North Carolina, he can definitely take North Carolina back to court because he's like, okay, you fuckers haven't counted a vote in 2 days, and all of a sudden Joe Biden's in the lead. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, that will push it immediately to the Supreme Court. Every other state will have to go before the court if he can flip one state. His only problem is he has to pick the right fucking state to try to flip. Because if he tries to flip, say, Pennsylvania, they do a whole recount, they find nothing wrong, or maybe he gains 200 votes or whatever, and he still loses Pennsylvania, then when he starts going to other states, it's just going to look like he's being a bitch and crying and doesn't want to accept the loss. So he literally has to pick the right state. I say start with Wisconsin because Wisconsin is the closest, or Georgia. Wisconsin or Georgia is your best bet. If he can find foul play in Georgia, which again, Georgia seems very fucking odd. He's up by 200,000 votes. Counting stops for like, a fucking day, and then it resumes, and then all of a sudden Biden is walking him down and takes the lead. If he can find some problems in Georgia, some irregularities in Georgia, Michigan too. But Michigan, I'd say I would stay away from Michigan for right now just because it's so far of a gap. I think Biden's up like 140,000 votes. So if he's up by that many votes, it's going to be hard to flip Michigan. It really fucking is. I think he's actually might win Arizona on his own. Arizona's still fucking counting, and they're 90% in. They probably don't give a shit anymore because election has been called. But if he wins Arizona outright, then he's good. At least that's 11 that he can take from Biden. So it makes the other states he have to flip just that much smaller. But if he loses Arizona, I would do Arizona too. He needs to find one state again: Georgia, Wisconsin, Arizona. He could probably go Michigan if he thinks there's foul play, because Michigan also had a dump of like 140,000 votes for Biden, which is, again, it just seems odd. It just seems really fucking odd, because even when they're counting, yeah, I know, that shit just doesn't make sense. Like, really, yeah, really. It just doesn't make sense how, again, like, it never goes the other way. That's my only, like, statistically, just flat out statistically, it's impossible for these glitches only to affect or benefit one side every fucking time. Like, it's impossible. And again, my thing is, if a Democrat was kicking Trump's ass in, say, Texas, I mean, whooping his ass, he's up by 500,000 votes, and then magically a system glitch happened, and Trump's up 50,000 votes. They just magically found 550,000 votes. Democrats would literally lose their fucking mind. They would want to shut down all counting, have everyone investigated, have the FBI go in there immediately. Like, they would literally go in and just try to burn down Texas because of this system glitch. But when it happens the other way, no one cares. I mean, that's just what happens. It's just a system glitch. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I mean, but again, he's going to have to pick his poison. He's going to have to pick the right one. If he gets the right one, like I said, I would push for Wisconsin. If he gets the right one, he will be fine. He can go in there. He can say everything that he want to say. And yes, there has been cases of dead people voting. The problem is that this shit has been going on for years. Being flat out honest, but the mail-in vote and the absentee vote was such a tiny number on election day that no one cared. So 1% here, 1% there is not a problem. The problem is when you mail out, and I believe they said over 100 million mail out ballots, 100 million mail out ballots. That is literally like 33% or whatever. I don't know how many voted this time. I think it was like 240. So a little over 33, maybe 40% of the fucking, election or the ballots or whatever that was cast. Then you have, it's beyond the 1%. So if they mailed something, if they mailed, say, something to a grandma who died 6 months ago, they didn't update their voter registry, somebody could take that and do it. There was a, what's up, Wes? Weiss. I don't know how to say it. I apologize if I said it wrong. Yeah, right. Um, so it's like, if you look at it where like they're mailing shit out, people could have moved out of state. People could have, did whatever they wanted to do, and they're moved or they're passed away or whatever the case may be, and people start checking stuff off and sending it back in for them. There's no way to know. And yeah, and that's like, I think that's like the biggest problem. It's like they want, like they really think they won, and they're super happy and they're super excited. But again, I mean, the guy's been in politics for 47 years. 47 years. What the fuck has he done besides do 2 crime bills that locked up half the goddamn black community? Like, what has he done? Like, I don't understand it. But they're happy, and I don't want to shit on their parade just yet. I want to give them a night or weeks or whatever. And yeah, and that's another thing. I'm sorry. Let me finish the thought because you guys keep bringing in good stuff. So I apologize. And my night is going good, Simply Deep. Thank you for asking. Hope your night is going well. And thank you for being a long time subscriber. I sorry, I'm just I apologize. I I don't personally think, in my humble opinion, I don't think that Trump lost, and that's just my opinion. But there's no way for me to prove it. And I am more than happy to accept the results. I am more than happy to accept that Biden's going to be president. Um, I just feel like that if he's going to be president, then let him be fucking president. Let him do everything he wants to do. These people are so ecstatic that he won. They're so ecstatic that Trump is out because again, for the last 4 years, they've been told that every problem that it's ever faced in the history of this country is because of Trump. Like there, I'm in Virginia. There was this fucking guy. I'm sure you guys heard of it. Um, what's that, Mr. Live? Um, there was this guy in West Virginia. He wore blackface. Back in college, he dressed up, I guess, as a Klan member or some shit like that in his college days. Some stupid shit most people never fucking care about. But we're in an age of identity politics, so he wore that. And the first thing they tried to do was, well, in the era of Trump, this type of stuff is coming out, and it's like, how the fuck are you blaming Trump for something this dude did in the fucking 70s or the 60s? But that's where we were at. Everything was Trump's fault. So when Biden wins, everyone feel like they've won something because they got rid of the person that caused all the problems. But which I think is going to be a nice eye opener is that Trump didn't cause the problems that we had. He tried to fucking fix it. Now, whether he succeeded or not is another fucking story. Whether you think he did or not is another fucking story. But according to him, he was trying to fix our fucking issues. Now that Trump is gone, our issues are still there. Again, we still have the same shit. We still have horrible, education that didn't fucking change under Trump. And it wasn't Trump's fault that the education fucking sucked. It's still here. Like, what are we fucking going to do? We have a horrible student loan debt. Are they going to make college free now? Are they going to backdate? Like, what the fuck are they going to do? Like, all of our shit is still here. So I don't know. It's just, I think it's easier to. It's like they made Trump the boogeyman, and everyone feels like, yes, the boogeyman is fucking gone. But tomorrow they're gonna have to wake up and realize that fuck, the same shit that we had problems before Trump got into office are now the same shit that we have problems with now. Obamacare still fucking sucks. There's no plan or anything to fix Obamacare. Biden may come in and try to do something, but do we really trust fucking Biden? Because Biden was a part of the fucking team that originally gave us Obamacare. So what the fuck is he going to do? Like if he was going to fix the shit or he was going to make a shit right, maybe he would have made the shit right the first time. And again, Obama was a part of the team that spent $5 billion to create a fucking website that didn't work. So do we really trust him? Like, do we really trust he's going to be the man to come in and get shit done? I don't. But I want him to. I want him to do everything he said. And that's another thing I wanted to actually point out. And I'm glad you said that non-sequester, or I don't know how to say your name. I apologize if I said it wrong. Voter turnout was ridiculously high. Like, it's unheard of to be this fucking high. I think Wisconsin had like a 90%. For the state, had a 90%. For the number of voters registered to the number of people that actually voted was like 90%, which is unfucking heard of. Now, maybe, and I'm going to just play devil's advocate here, maybe it made it easier for people to vote because they didn't have to wait till one day and get up and get dressed and go stand in line in Wisconsin in November when it's like probably fucking 4 degrees outside. So they could vote from mail. So maybe more people did vote. I'll give you that. But still, 90% is fucking high for any place ever. And these numbers, I am pretty sure, come next election, I don't think we'll ever see numbers like this ever, unless the U.S. population gets to like 400 million or 500 million. Then we may start seeing numbers like this. But like literally, again, Trump had the most votes of any Republican ever. He got 70 million votes, more than Obama did. And when Obama blew the doors off of Mitt Romney, he got more votes than Obama did, and he's lost by like 4 or 5 million votes, probably even more now that they're still counting. So like, the sheer number of votes that came in causes for me a red flag. Like, this is just too many. Now again, I'm not saying that because it's by mail. Maybe it's easier. Maybe people in Louisiana, or I'm sorry, maybe people in like Maine who don't have to again stand in 4-degree weather in a foot of snow, even though it's November or whatever. Maybe they feel more comfortable voting by mail, so they voted. That's completely plausible. I'm not denying that couldn't happen. But again, it's just fucking odd that we had so many people decided to vote. For my opinion, 2 people who most of the country just didn't like. Like, no one liked Trump. People didn't even know who fucking Biden was. And Biden was just literally couldn't finish a fucking sentence. Um, so I don't know. I don't know. It's just odd to me. So that's my take on that. Any more questions? Because I love talking to you guys. I could do this shit all night, but I got I got kids to tend to. So any more questions? I don't know what that means. Um, but seriously, guys, thank y'all so much. Seriously, for following the church. Thank y'all still for watching all my videos. I truly do appreciate it. Um, I haven't heard about any arrest as of yet, but I promise you, once that shit, if that starts coming out, and see, okay, fine, I'm gonna give you my one conspiracy theory, then I'm done. I promise you, I got one. I got one conspiracy theory. I feel like, in my personal opinion, um, don't get me started on that social distancing shit. Don't even get me started. Sorry. I actually like this guy. Rationalific. He always comments on my videos. Um, Thank you so much. Sorry, hold on. I know I'm gonna get to that. But yes, that social distancing shit pisses me off because when you see all these fucking protests or these peaceful protests, and people are walking down the street arm in arm, 2,000 people, 3,000 people, arm in arm, walking down the street, some with masks, some with no masks, and marching, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. The media says, this is amazing. Look at the great people, and look at all these people coming together to fight for a cause. And look at the unity, and these people are exercising their First Amendment right. But you let 5 people go into a bar and it's like, oh my God, COVID. These people are going to die. They're going to kill everyone. I cannot believe that these people aren't social distancing. And it's like, fuck you. I seriously want the CDC, especially the media. Like, fuck you, you selective ass bitches. Like, I hate that shit. Like, I'm serious. That shit drives me insane. 15 people run up into a fucking Sprint store and steal phones is mostly peaceful. An 8-year-old girl getting shot, a 60-year-old man getting shot is mostly peaceful. Again, thousands of people all huddled together chanting is peaceful and is wonderful. But again, 5 people at a fucking barbecue is murderistic. Like, you're going to kill everyone. Like, fuck you for real. Okay, sorry. But here is my conspiracy theory. Like full-blown conspiracy theory. I think if there was any cheating, and I'm not saying there is, but if there was any cheating going on, this shit is not lower level. This shit, I think, goes all the way up to the DNC. I think for this to be pulled off, it would have to be centralized. And the only reason I say that is because it is so fucking odd that literally every state that had to slow count, it was always Democratic districts. Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, I forgot the district, and I guess Allegheny or something like that, whatever that county fucking was. Atlanta took forever. I think it was, I don't know if it was, I forgot the one in, fuck. Oh, never mind. I forgot the one in North Carolina, Milwaukee in Wisconsin, Detroit in Michigan. Like literally every single one that held up the vote because Trump was way in the lead, and all of a sudden counting stopped, and then magically Biden started coming back, and Biden started, getting all these votes in Michigan. Look at Michigan reporting, and look at Philadelphia reporting, and look at this county reporting. Like literally, when it first started, it was like Philadelphia has like 500,000 votes to count. Erie, whatever it was, Pittsburgh. Like Pittsburgh has X amount of thousand votes to count, like 300,000 or 400,000 votes to count. So like a total was like 1 million votes. And then all of a sudden they start counting it. And I think Trump was like up by like 700,000 votes at one point in Pennsylvania, if I remember correctly. And obviously most Trump supporters was like, oh shit, we got this. 700,000. They only got like maybe 900,000 to vote. But then the shit just kept coming and coming and coming. And again, the same, it can't happen in every fucking Democratic place without it being centralized. It just can't. It doesn't make sense to me. Again, that you can have Wisconsin. Trump is up 100 and something thousand votes, and then all of a sudden Detroit. Oh no, it wasn't Detroit. Milwaukee. Milwaukee needs to report. Milwaukee hasn't reported anything all night. Everyone else in the fucking county reported. Milwaukee hasn't reported shit, and as soon as Milwaukee starts reporting, Biden blows them out the water. Get the fuck out of here. Same thing in Detroit, same thing in fucking Atlanta, same thing in Pittsburgh, and amazingly, all of these fucking states was like, toss-up states. So it doesn't make sense to me, like, for it to be this fucking rampant, like in every fucking situation. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Florida was the exact same way. I don't know if they used to never call Florida. They hated, they hated to call Florida, because there was always one fucking county in Florida that was run by these Democratic people that just never fucking reported on time, ever. And it's just, it's odd to me how you can literally have Pennsylvania report the whole fucking state except Philly and except Allegheny. And all of a sudden, it's like, to me, they're waiting to see how many votes do we need in order to win. Okay. How many votes do we need to win? Okay, we need 1 million votes. We need 800,000 votes to win. Okay, because he's up 700,000. We need 800,000. We may have a couple more trickle in. So let's make it a cool 900,000. Let's make this fucking count happen. However, we need to do it. And that's my conspiracy theory, that there's some machine. I don't know if there's a machine somewhere where they just spit off votes. Okay, we need, somebody call up in fucking like Wisconsin. Again, Wisconsin's counting all day. Every other fucking county is counting all day. Milwaukee hasn't reported shit. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Milwaukee reports and Biden's in the lead. Get the fuck out of here. Like, it doesn't make sense. And again, that's my conspiracy theory. They put in a request, hey, we need 100,000 votes. We need 200,000 votes. We need 300,000 votes. Or they already print them off. Because again, even in local elections, and please, if you have the time, read up on some of this shit. Even in local elections, sorry, some local elections, like the Republican will be up, and then all of a sudden, mysteriously, an election official will find a box of ballots in the back of her car. How the fuck does that happen? First of all, why are there ballots in the trunk of your car anyway? Second of all, you pull this box out. Magically, the Republicans up by 12,000 votes. You magically have 13,000 votes just sitting there all for this one fucking person. Get the fuck out of here. Again, if this shit was the other way around, if some Democrat was about to win a seat in Mississippi or a seat in Louisiana or a seat in, Oklahoma or, Kansas or Texas, and all of a sudden, magically, a Republican official found 15,000 votes in the trunk of their car to push the Republican over, they would lose their fucking mind. They would literally lose their fucking mind. Like, it would not. It wouldn't be. Now, again, and I've actually read this, which I thought was pretty funny. The same people that told us that Russia hacked our election concluded with, teamed up with Donald Trump and rigged the 2016 election, and they did all this. They manipulated the system. They did all these evil, foul things to change the votes and to do this and to do that, are now telling us that because Joe Biden won this election, that there was no voter interference, there was no voter fraud, nothing transpired, nothing evil happened, nothing sinister happened. Elections can't be rigged. I mean, literally, we spent the last 2.5 years to 3 years being informed repeatedly that that 2016 election was rigged because Russia cheated to help him win. Now, because Biden won, obviously there was no cheating in this election. So again, it doesn't make fucking sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. And again, my thing is, for that, it would have to be at the top. It would have to be the DNC, which means somebody at the DNC is being controlled by somebody else. Now, again, I know this is like a Republican's wet dream, and I will say it just so you guys can have a good night's sleep. If this is from the DNC, this goes way beyond like little peons at the election committee. So it has to be people in Congress, maybe a Nancy Pelosi, maybe a Chuck Schumer, maybe it goes up to the top. Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, whoever. Somebody is pulling the strings. There has to be some way, some possible fucking way that, again, all of these votes are getting counted. Magically, it stops as soon as it gets to the Democratic control part of the state. And then magically, as soon as that happens, all of these votes rush in for Democrats. Now, again, not saying it's foul play. This is just my conspiracy theory. And I do understand that places like in Philly, Detroit, they're mainly Democrat. So obviously you're going to get an influx of votes from Democrats in these mainly Democratic areas. And that actually helps my case because, and maybe the Clinton Foundation too, that's actually a good point. Because again, it's easier to hide. If I have a population in Philadelphia, okay, let's say I have 1 million people. I don't know the population of Philadelphia, so please forgive me. I didn't research this. Let's say I have 1 million people. I already know, because I have the statistics year in and year out, that only 40% is going to vote. Only 40%. So that means I have 400,000 votes to count. I can add whatever the fuck I want to add to this total until it gets to be starting to get questionable. So if I have 1 million registered voters, I know year in and year out only 400,000 people vote. I can add 200,000 votes to this total and no one would ever fucking question it because it's coming from a Democratic area. Like no one would even think about it. Again, it's like Texas. If I wanted to add 100,000 Republican votes in some city or whatever the case may be, they can easily do it. Easily. And especially, again, city-wise, places like New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, Atlanta. Atlanta is big. Again, they have the data on how many people typically vote. If I know only 40% of my population, 50% of my population, 60% of my population, if I know only 60% of my population vote, I have a population of 1 million people, I can add 100,000 votes to this easily without batting an eye. Now, where they may have gotten fucked up on in this election was that there were a lot of people that voted. And if they added to the vote, now it makes the numbers look fucking absurd. Because again, 90% of the people in Wisconsin voted. When? When has 90% of a state ever done anything at the same fucking time? Like, seriously, 90% of the fucking population in Wisconsin voted? Get the fuck out of here. Like, that just doesn't make fucking sense. Okay. But like, seriously, that again, I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not saying it can't happen. But my conspiracy theory is that there's a centralized location. Either they already print off the votes, ready for them in hand, ready to kick them out, which would explain, again, the Michigan shit where people were trying to observe it and they started putting papers and shit over the windows so people can't look in to see what they were doing. Doesn't make fucking sense. The fucking, what was it, Philadelphia, where they kept kicking people out. Or telling them that they can't come in, or blocking them. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days later they start letting people in, or they start letting people back in. Okay, damage is already done. If you already pushed through your 100,000, pre-printed ballots or whatever the case may be, then sure, fucking come on in. You can see what we're doing now. We're just counting the votes because we already did what the fuck we wanted to do. Again, it's just, if he has it, and this would be the ultimate fuck you for Trump, if he is able, if this is true, let me put that in there. If this is true, if he's able to expose this shit, like really fucking expose it, if he is able to say, look, send in the FBI, I want a full-blown investigation to whatever. I don't know if there's even FBI agents that would do it because, again, he's fighting against every fucking one, including the fucking FBI, who apparently tried to set him up, whatever. But if he can get somebody to go in there and actually fight, and if he could discover, oh my gosh, look at all this shit that's been going on. They had pre-printed 100,000 Biden votes. They had pre-printed 200,000 Biden votes. And it's pre-printed at this other location. And we can find this location. If they get one person to flip, if they get one fucking person to flip, they can blow this whole thing open. And again, that's just my conspiracy theory, not saying it's true. That is literally what I think about, like, if there were cheating, how would they do it? And the only way I can think they can do it is either one, they already have these votes printed up, ready to go. They slap a label on them. So whenever that fucking time is needed, where they need an extra couple 100,000 votes or whatever, they throw it out there. Or two, they just call up an order. Hey, look, state is going really fucked up. We need 200,000 votes for Philadelphia. Sure, we're on it. Print it up. Super fast printer or 4 or 5 printers going at one time. 200,000 votes, maybe done in an hour. Get it to them. Again, like Wisconsin. Wisconsin updated their numbers between 3, 4 a.m. in the morning, which means it probably was what? Either, I think they're 1 hour behind me, us or whatever. So about 2 a.m. in the morning. As far as I understand it, them fuckers stopped counting long before the middle of the night. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But at 2 o'clock in the morning, when majority of the country is either asleep or done with it, it's easy to hide shit then. Could you imagine if they updated that shit at 8 o'clock in the afternoon? The questions that people would have had, how the fuck did this happen? But at 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning East Coast time, they throw that shit out there. Majority of people are waking up like, oh, well, damn. Biden called up to Trump. Yay or nay or however you feel. But like, it's just, I don't know. It seems all too fucking fishy for me. It just all seems too fishy. I'm just saying is that. Yeah, I know. The whole COVID shit drives me insane, and I don't even want to get started on the COVID shit because I'll be here for another hour. Hate the whole COVID shit. The shit is just stupid. Again, people can march down the street arm in arm and burn shit down, and we don't care about COVID. 5 Trump people walk into a bar, and all of a sudden they're super spreaders, and they're going to kill everyone because they don't believe in science. Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's like literally, it's again selective. And at the end of the day, let's be fucking real. Because come next flu season, if Biden is in his office, any death from the flu, we're blaming on him because he should have stopped the virus. I'm sorry, that just is what it is. He should have stopped the fucking virus. Because if Trump has to stop a virus, then every president that comes after him must stop a virus from spreading. And if they don't, it's because they don't care, they're unprepared, and they don't believe in science. That's the way I feel. Never mind the fact that you can't fucking stop a virus. Like, it's fucking impossible to stop a virus. Once a virus is out, once a virus is spread, the only thing you can do is just fucking hope for the best. Because it's a fucking virus. You can't stop it. But whatever. Yeah, I stayed up to about 1:30 East Coast time watching the polls. And then all of a sudden they was telling me that they stopped counting. Like nothing was being changed. Nothing was, being done again. So I just went the fuck to sleep. Woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning or like 9 o'clock. It was 8 o'clock in the morning because I had to go to work. And so Biden took the lead everywhere. Like he was ahead in Michigan. He was ahead in Wisconsin. And I was like, dude, how the fuck did that happen? Like literally Trump was ahead everywhere when I went to sleep. Like everywhere when I went to sleep at 1:30 in the morning, he was ahead in Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. He was kicking ass everywhere. Now, obviously, the West Coast was still fouling in, semi-fouling in at 1:30 in the morning. So obviously, everybody knows California is going to Biden any goddamn way. But yeah, when I went to bed, he was up everywhere. When I woke up, this motherfucker trailed everywhere. And I'm like, I don't even understand how that works. Like, I really don't understand how that works. Like, everywhere he just lost. And overnight. Like, and again, the shit happens 3 o'clock in the morning, everybody's asleep. When you wake up, you're just seeing numbers. You don't know what happened. You don't know there was a mass vote dump. You don't know. And if Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else is like literally taking down posts of people posting this shit, there's no way for you to know. And again, that's another thing that makes my conspiracy theory, for me, plausible. It's because not only do you have these mass dumps of votes, you have places like Twitter and Facebook calling it fake news for people saying, what the fuck is this shit? Like, I don't understand how do you have this mass dump of votes and Twitter takes it down? Why would you hide shit like that? Again, I promise you, if it was Republican, that shit would be plastered over every major news organization on the face of this earth. You have fucking people in Australia talking about the shit. It would be unheard of. Of course, and that's another thing that just really pisses me off. Really fast, Valent, Marco the Valent. Yes, the swine flu was a big thing until it was a big thing, but it was on how they reported it. Now, let me just give you quick numbers. The CDC estimated that the H1N1, which was the swine flu, I believe. Yeah, it was. The H1N1, which was the swine flu, 60 million people were infected by H1N1. 60 million. Of that, only 12,000 died from the swine flu. But here's the kicker. They didn't report the swine flu the way they reported COVID. With COVID, if you die with COVID, they're reporting it as you died of COVID, which is a huge fucking change from how they reported the H1N1. If you died from H1N1, it's because you died from H1N1. H1N1 was the cause of your death. The way they're doing COVID is, again, if you die with COVID, they're claiming you died of COVID. And in some places, if you died, period, you died of COVID. Because there have been doctors that came out that said, yes, they've been forced to put COVID on the death certificate, even if the patient was never tested or never confirmed to be a COVID victim. New York submitted, or New York, when this first started, put 3,700 people on the COVID death list that they never tested. Why? Was because why did they do that? Was because they said there was a probable death, that they think that the person died from COVID. So now we're putting people on the COVID death list to say that people died of COVID when we didn't already test it. We're just guessing. And the problem is the symptoms. Yes, there's two problems with that. The symptoms mimic the flu because it's a respiratory illness. Every year, 30 to 50 to probably more, thousands of people die from the flu every fucking year. So to say that somebody died from the flu is the same as dying from COVID, technically it's actually true because they have the exact same symptoms. They have the exact same causes. But if you never tested this person, you can't say the person died from COVID because the symptoms mimic that of the flu or pneumonia. The second problem is 40% of the people who get COVID are asymptomatic, which means they have no fucking symptoms. So if you die while having COVID and they count it as a COVID death, there's no way for them to say that COVID actually caused your death because you could have been one of the 40% of the people that were asymptomatic that COVID never fucking affected your life, or it gave you a headache, or it gave you loss of taste, or it just did nothing. So again, we have this fucking chart where they're putting people on a COVID death. And again, I don't care how you fucking report shit, but the problem is they're using this chart to say, look, we have 200,000 deaths. And that's all they kept saying during the election. Look at Trump. It's Trump's fault because we have 200,000 died from COVID. Well, if you fucking cook the books, you can make anything look bad. But I also, again, funny how they didn't do that shit with the H1N1, which again affected 60.8 million people, according to the CDC. That's their estimate. The low range was 49 million. The high range was 89 million. They settled on 60. How they settled on fucking 60, I don't know because that's not in the middle, but whatever. 60.8 million people got affected by H1N1. They did not classify everyone who was affected by H1N1 who died an H1N1 death the way they're doing COVID. Because I promise you, if they did, it wouldn't have been 12,000. It would have probably been like 12 million or whatever, 2 million or whatever it would have been. Because I'm sure there was millions of people that died who had H1N1 that H1N1 didn't fucking kill, and we didn't record it as an H1N1 death. But whatever. Oh, and yes, I guess it's Javier. I hope I'm saying that name right. Yeah, they don't like anyone who doesn't support their group. Again, you remember Biden said, if you're black and you don't vote for me, you're not black. They hate anyone that doesn't support their group. Again, Trump got 18% of the black male vote, 18%, which is a huge number for a fucking Republican. Absolutely huge. He got, I think, 9% of the female black vote, 9%, which was up from like 2 or 3%. So he increased the minority vote for him, increased dramatically. He got the Latino vote, especially Cuban vote in Florida. Reason being, surprisingly, Cubans don't like socialists. Who the fuck knew that shit? Like, who could have guessed that? You know, people fleeing a communist socialist country to come to a free country doesn't want to go back to a socialist country. Who the fuck knew? I mean, wow. So I guess the polls weren't telling the Democrats that shit. So yeah, I mean, anybody, anywhere who doesn't go along with their side. Like, I've seen videos and I've heard people. I don't know if you guys have ever talked to, like, or ever watched. I'm gonna say talk to. Ever watched somebody like Candace Owens, where she said, you know, she have white people calling her stupid nigger and all this other shit all the fucking time, and people cheer her. Now, could you imagine if that shit was reversed? If Candace Owens was a Democrat and white people were calling her, you know, dumb nigger or whatever the case may be, or she's a disgrace to her race? Could you imagine the fucking outcry of systematic racism and racist people and shaming all these people? What the fuck would happen? But no, they don't care. Like literally, that's why I was finding it funny. They say Black Lives Matter. Certain Black Lives Matter. And to be real, they do. Certain Black Lives Matter. If you're a Democrat and you happen to be killed by a white person or by a cop, your life fucking matters. Outside of that, they don't give a fuck about you. Except when it's time to vote. Like when it's time to vote, you're their man. Like they're going to do all these great things for you. I mean, like seriously, like think about all the fucking promises that the Democrats have been promising black people since I've been born, and I'm 40 years old. I've literally heard the exact same shit every year. The Republicans are racist. They don't care about you. Vote for me, and we're going to make sure you get your place in this society. We're going to tear down the walls that are breaking you and blocking you and stopping you. We're going to do all these great things to improve your life. And literally, they say the exact same shit every year. And they haven't improved shit. Like, absolutely fucking nothing. Haven't improved a goddamn thing. And they're not even trying to improve a goddamn thing. But they're happy with that. So, and yes, I actually do like Owens. I think she goes on a tangent sometimes. Like, it's like she gets too fiery sometimes and she kind of like throws off her point or her message. But I do like her. I think she's very well spoken. I think she researches her shit. And it's like people like her who I think actually do give a shit about Black lives and are trying to do things to help and support Black lives. Like one of my biggest things that I really, really love Trump for, and actually I like Bush for, and I know everybody hated Bush, but they were strong in school choice. Like they were really fucking strong in school choice. You pick whatever school you want to go to. If your school is failing, if your school fucking sucks, we will give you a voucher so you can go and take your child to a better school. And I never thought anything wrong with that. Like, why the fuck would you want kids to stay in failing fucking schools? There was because I live in like kind of the Metro DC area, so I get news about DC, Maryland, and all that shit every fucking day. So like there was a school in Baltimore in the middle of fucking winter last year that had absolutely zero fucking heat. So they were showing videos of kids sitting in school in their coats, in their gloves, in their hat, trying to learn, and they're fucking freezing. And you're telling me that if a mother or a father wants to take their child out of this school, and I don't know, crazy talk, put their kids in a school with fucking heat, that you have a problem with that? So again, there's plenty of schools in this country that are fucking royally failing the kids, that aren't doing anything to educate the kids or teach the kids. There are schools in Baltimore, which if you again listen to Candace, she pointed out there are like eight or nine schools in Baltimore where every single high school, no one's on reading level. None. Middle school, no one's on reading level. Every state test, every kid in this school has failed. So, which means this school obviously aren't teaching the kids any fucking thing. So if I have, what's up, Gothic? If I have a 6th grader and my kid is going into 7th grade, so they're going to go to one of these middle schools that literally has absolutely zero teachers that can teach a child how to pass a basic test, how to read, how to write. You're telling me that because you're good with the teaching unions, I have no choice but to send my kids to this school. Even though my income dictates I have to live in this area because I can't afford to move to a better area to get a better school, my kid is just fucked. And it's like, I don't understand. Yeah, that shit is fucking true. That shit is crazy. To everybody who just said everything, sorry. But it's like your kid is just fucked. And then these are the same people who say, well, the system is just systematically racist and they don't want you to get ahead. And it's like, well, I'm fucking trying, but you're blocking me. I don't want my kid to go to this shit school. I want my kid to go to this better school. You're telling me my only option is to make an extra $100,000 a year so I can move into this other neighborhood to go to a better school. Other than that, I'm fucked. Because you guys aren't approving the schools at all. Because these schools haven't changed in fucking years. They are the same shitty schools that, 30 and 40-year-olds went to. They haven't upgraded. They haven't changed at all. They're still shit. So you have generations of kids going through these schools that are absolute shit, that never get any better. And parents are like, give me a fucking voucher so I can take my kid out of this fucking school, put him into a better school to give them a better chance at a better future. And your response is no, you are to stay in this shit school that we are not going to fix. And then in the next breath, the system is systematically racist. Bitch, you are the systematically racist system you're complaining about. I mean, I don't understand it. You are You are the system that's making it impossible for these people to get ahead. But you're complaining about it. I don't understand it. And yes, education, I believe in it. Education does start at home. You got to teach your kids as much as they possibly can. But some people, and again, I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but some people, both parents work, or they're only with one parent. That parent is working a job or two, trying to get ahead. They're doing the best they can. I cannot knock them. I cannot knock their hustle. I don't know everyone's situation, but again, if you're in these neighborhoods, it's because your income isn't to where it needs to be for you to get the fuck out of these neighborhoods. So either you're working like crazy trying to get your shit together so you can get the fuck out, or you're on Section 8 welfare where you have 4 or 5 kids and you don't have time to sit down with one child to do math. And I'm not excusing it. I'm not saying it's right or justified. I'm just saying the situation is what it is. So when these parents are trying to say, hey, I don't want my kid to go to these shit schools, let me get them the fuck out of these schools. Or again, there are some schools like in Chicago, Detroit, where kids got to go through fucking metal detectors to go in school. I'm sorry. If I'm ever in a fucking neighborhood where my kid has to go through a metal detector and have police literally guards and dogs at their fucking school, you're going to another fucking school. I'm sorry. Fuck you. You're going to another fucking school. I don't care what the fuck I got to do. If I got to sell drugs, we're going to another fucking school. You should not have to. Your main concern going into a high school or a middle school should be, fuck, did I do my homework? Or, damn it, I forgot to answer question 5, or oh shit, I know she was gonna give us a pop quiz today. I didn't fucking study. This is bullshit. She always does this on a Tuesday. If your main concern going into school is fuck, I hope I don't get shot today, you're in the wrong fucking school. And I'm sorry, I love it how they always say when it comes to these white kids, only white kids shoot up the school. Like literally, they ignore every fucking thing that happens in these cities. Everything. They ignore Chicago. They ignore Baltimore. They ignore New York. They ignore all the shit that happens every fucking day. Again, these kids are going to schools with police guards and metal detectors to walk into a fucking building. No. You've got to fucking go. Oh yeah, I too. I remember that shit. I didn't go to Baltimore. I was in PG County. My mom is actually still in PG County, and she used to work for the school board. I'm sorry, work in the school system. All right, did I hit mute by accident? I think I did. I'm sorry. But yeah, I remember all that shit. There was people in Baltimore, um, where there were all these people doing, sorry, okay, I was on mute. I apologize. But there were all these people in Baltimore, all these people in PG County where they were changing the fucking grades just to make people graduate, and um, it's just like that's what they do. Like they would rather pass you to brag about a number of graduation rate than to educate you. And there is no way for parents to get out of this fucking system except to make more money to move to a better neighborhood to get better schools. Like that's your only recourse. That's your only out. And again, if anyone wants to do school choice, we label them as racist, and we label them as anti-teachers, and we label them as all these fucking horrible things. Like they want to get rid of charter schools. Okay, again, my kid is going to a shit school. I have no other option. There's a charter school. Maybe I could try to go to a charter school, but a charter schools cost 20,000-30,000 a year, depending on the city you're fucking in. Um, but again, there's no other way. Like the government's not going to help you. You're pretty much fucked. You're on your own. But then at the same time, they want to talk about like, oh, well, so and so couldn't buy a house because, they're all racist and, it's all this systematic racist system. Okay, well, my kid is in your district going to a failing fucking school. You're not fucking fixing the schools. And then you're not letting me take my kid out of the school to send him to another school. Fuck you. Because again, you're literally putting that kid in line to be the exact same situation his parent is, with a shit education, a shit job, having kids going back to the same shit fucking schools and wash, rinse, repeat. All right. So, okay. And I agree with you, but that's a whole nother topic. Like, unfortunately, certain people have kids that, in my opinion, shouldn't. But the kids are here, can't stuff them back in, can't undo the shit. So we're kind of, they're here, make the fucking best of it. All right, man. I'm sorry this actually went so long. I really didn't mean. I was just getting on just to, talk to you guys, say hello, and to have like, a conversation about the whole election thing, because I saw a lot of people comment on the video. And it's also my way of saying hello. And honestly, thank you guys so much for always watching and commenting and viewing. I don't know why I don't get as many views as I used to, but you guys have been loyal, and I seriously, no bullshit. I love all y'all. Thank y'all so much. Even when we disagree, even we have people I don't disagree. We disagree sometimes. That shit fucking happens. I don't care. But thank y'all so much for always being here, watching and listening. Thank you for commenting. Um, it might be it. I don't know. And my videos, honestly, I think a lot of my videos have been way too long recently. Like some of my videos have been 15 minutes, and I apologize. But like once I start fucking ranting, I just keep going and I try to shorten it up. So, and like tonight's video was going to be 45 minutes long if I just said everything I wanted to say, but I wanted to make it short. So seriously, y'all, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for listening. This is St. Patrick. I'm out.